Ever wondered what turns a man cold-hearted? Uncover the hidden triggers and emotional scars that can harden a man's heart, transforming warmth into ice. Explore the journey from pain to indifference and find out what it truly takes to push someone to the edge. Causes of emotional unavailability. A number of factors can contribute to emotional unavailability. It's not uncommon to find more than one cause at the heart of this issue. Number one, past trauma. One significant factor is past trauma or abuse. Individuals who've experienced traumatic events or abusive relationships may develop emotional unavailability as a type of defense mechanism. They may learn to disconnect from their emotions and avoid vulnerability in order to protect themselves from further emotional pain. Fear of being hurt, rejected, or engulfed by the intensity of emotional connection can lead them to maintain emotional distance from others. Past trauma can lead to the development of an insecure attachment style. Attachment styles, which develop in early childhood through interactions with caregivers, shape how we relate to others emotionally. Those with an insecure attachment style may struggle with emotional intimacy and tend to keep others at a distance. Number two, external conditioning. Emotionally unavailable men may have had inadequate emotional role models during childhood. Growing up in an environment where emotional expression and connection were not modeled or valued can limit a person's ability to engage in emotionally intimate relationships. They may also live in a culture that doesn't favor the masculine expression of emotion, perpetuating the notion that men should be stoic and avoid vulnerability. In such cultures, societal expectations might discourage men from openly expressing their feelings or seeking emotional support. Number three, lifestyle factors. In addition, certain lifestyles or demanding careers may make it challenging for people to invest emotionally in a relationship. They may have limited time and energy available due to work commitments, travel, or other obligations, making it difficult to sustain a deep emotional connection. Also, some people may be emotionally unavailable. Due to their focus on self-discovery and personal growth, they may want to explore different connections and develop a deeper understanding of their own needs and desires before committing to a serious relationship. Number four, temporary circumstances. Emotional unavailability can also happen temporarily. Many people living with mental health conditions like depression may have a hard time sustaining an emotional connection with their loved ones during a flare-up. Others might want to focus on their career, a friend having difficulties, or something else unexpected. Number five, breakup grief. Experiencing relationship pain can make it tough to become vulnerable with a new partner. This is especially true if you're recovering from unpleasant breakups, infidelity, unrequited feelings, relationship toxicity, or abuse. Any of these can contribute to feelings of low self-esteem, which can make it even more difficult to experience and share intimacy. Why women are attracted to emotionally unavailable men. Avoidance of emotional intimacy. Emotionally unavailable people often have difficulties with emotional intimacy and vulnerability. Being with another emotionally unavailable person allows them to avoid the discomfort associated with opening up emotionally. They may feel less pressure to address their own emotional challenges or confront their fear of intimacy when their partner shows similar behaviors. Emotional unavailability can also provide a clear boundary between emotionally unavailable people and their partner, creating a sense of psychological safety. The lack of emotional intimacy can be appealing for individuals with CPTSD who struggle with boundary-related difficulties. Familiarity. Emotional unavailability can feel familiar and comfortable to people who've grown accustomed to this dynamic. They might find it easier to relate to someone who shares similar emotional patterns. The familiarity of emotional unavailability can create a sense of safety and a perception of control over the known dynamics, even if it's ultimately unhealthy. As humans, we have an inherent aversion to uncertainty. The unknown can trigger feelings of fear, doubt, and vulnerability, which we want to avoid. Repetition compulsion. We might unconsciously seek out relationships that mirror our past experiences. If we grew up in an environment with emotionally unavailable caregivers, we might unintentionally be drawn to emotionally unavailable partners as a way to repeat or recreate familiar patterns. This repetition compulsion may stem from a subconscious desire to resolve past unresolved issues or gain a sense of control over the situation. Cravings. If a girl had an emotionally unavailable or emotionally immature caregiver, it's likely that as a child, she was craving their love and attention. Now, as an adult pursuing a similarly emotionally distant person, the same brain circuits involving cravings may be triggered. It's interesting to note that craving is distinct from liking. Much research has been done into this in the field of drugs and addiction. In the context of drugs, liking refers to the hedonic experience or pleasure, derived from taking a drug, while wanting refers to the motivational aspect or the craving for the drug. Drugs can induce intense wanting even in the absence of liking. Both love and drugs can produce dopamine in the brain, and there are similarities in how they affect the brain's reward system. It's worth considering. How much do you want, crave versus the emotionally unavailable person? How much are you craving their love and attention as opposed to actually liking them? How well do you really know them? Next steps. Emotional unavailability doesn't have to be permanent. It's a complex issue, though, and some underlying causes may be harder to overcome than others. Change only happens when someone is willing to work at creating, so you can't make an emotionally unavailable partner more available. But you can try these strategies. Bring up concerning behaviors like avoiding making plans or sharing feelings. Point out compassionately how those behaviors affect your relationship. Encourage them to connect with a therapist or offer to try couples counseling with them. Offer encouragement and support when they do open up. If you're trying to become more emotionally available yourself, these tips can help. Identify the cause. Exploring the root issues can give you insight into how to deal with emotional unavailability. If you've gone through a nasty breakup, for example, you may just need some more time before trying to get close to someone again. But if something more serious like childhood neglect affects your ability to get close to others, it's wise to talk to a therapist. Coping with the effects of trauma or abuse generally requires professional support. Practice opening up. It's often helpful to get more comfortable expressing emotions on your own before trying to share them with a romantic partner. To do this, consider these ideas. Keep a journal of your feelings. Use art or music to practice emotional expression. Talk to trusted people like close friends or family members about emotions. Share emotional issues or vulnerabilities via text first. Take it slow. Once you realize you've been emotionally distant, you might want to begin changing that immediately. Overnight improvement isn't realistic, though. True vulnerability takes time, and pushing yourself to open up before you're ready can sometimes trigger distress or discomfort. A better approach? Small, gradual changes. To put it another way, it never hurts to step out of your comfort zone, but you don't need to leave it completely in the dust. Involve your partner as you explore factors contributing to emotional unavailability and work on becoming more available. Communicate with your partner about what you learn. You may have an easier time enlisting their support if they understand why you tend to pull away. Explore helpful strategies together, such as sharing emotions by leaving notes for each other, staying connected via text when you need physical space. Spend time with people in healthy relationships when emotional unavailability stems from attachment issues or unhealthy relationship patterns. It can help to learn more about what healthy relationships look like. One way to study healthy relationships involves time in the field. Think of friends or family members in strong, long-term relationships, ideally people you spend a good amount of time with. Pay attention to how they interact with their partners. This won't give you a full picture, but it can provide some useful insight. Talk to a therapist. Emotional unavailability isn't always something you can work through alone, and that's okay. If you continue having trouble with emotional vulnerability and feel distressed about the difficulties it causes in your relationships, a therapist can offer guidance and support. In therapy, you can work to identify potential causes and take steps to break unhelpful relationship patterns. If you're already in a relationship, couples counseling can go a long way to helping you and your partner address any challenges together. Lastly, remember, emotional unavailability can cause a lot of frustration and distress, but it doesn't mean you have to give up on your relationship. Talking to your partner or taking time to explore your own behaviors can help you start identifying possible issues and working through them productively. Patience, communication, and support from a therapist can help, especially if you don't seem to be getting anywhere on your own.